Hello, hello. We are here for a special edition of the Black Belt Newscast. I'm Cindy Fisher, publisher.
I'm Todd Prater, staff writer.
And this time we are coming to you on a Tuesday, which is a little rare because we wanted to share all of the wonderful video and stories that we gathered during the Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee. It was the 33rd annual event. And this year was the 60th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, which really put Selma on the map. And it was a big event. We had a lot of people here and wanted to go ahead and share with you guys all the video we got, because by the time we get to Friday, we will have a lot of other news. And,
right. There's too much of this to show in one newscast. So
yeah, we'll be moving on to hearing about what's going to happen for the 61st. Anniversary. But this time we really wanted to share with you guys the great content that we got. I always like to remind everyone that we get all of our stories. Everything we're talking about is already posted at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. Some folks, you've already seen it, which is great. We've got photo galleries. Most of these videos have not been seen yet, so that's why I'm really excited to share with you today. Go to blackbeltnewsnetwork.com to see full stories about what we're talking about, because some stuff we won't be able to dig into as much because, this is a week-long event. So there's so many great panels and discussion, really deep in event that goes into so much detail that we may not get to all today. Send your news to news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com because we can't be everywhere at once. We tried this weekend and last week, but we can't. So send your news, and we would love to share it at Black Belt News Network. Also, sign up for our daily newsletter. I met a lot of people. I had my jacket with the Black Belt News Network logo. A lot of people say, "Oh, I get your email at 3:00." So if you don't get the email at 3:00 every day, it is free. All of our news is free. We do not have a paywall. So we want to make sure that everyone is informed about what's going on in the community in the Black Belt of Alabama. And so go sign up for the daily newsletter. Join everybody. And also, we all like to say, hey, we take donations. This is one way that we help keep it free, is that we have a lot of people that enjoy the news enough to do $10 a month, $20 a month. It's tax deductible. So help us build this Black Belt News Network that networks and connects the community. So I am really looking forward to getting to all of the content we have today about the Bridge Crossing Jubilee. So 60th anniversary, and it also rained. So the weather wasn't awesome, but the crowd was there for it, whether it rained or not. So we're going to go backwards. We're going to go from Sunday, the big day, backwards to the events that happened leading up to Sunday, the big day. And so I'm going to start with some video out of lead up to Sunday. So as you know, the big event is the reenactment of the march over the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And this is how protesters had done this 60 years ago in order to get equal voting rights, which they accomplished because it was signed into law just a couple of months later as the Voting Rights Act. So this is the foot soldiers led the crowd. So this is the foot soldiers this year. And I've been doing this is my 7th year, I think. This was more in wheelchairs than I've seen. Then had the lineup of folks at the top of the bridge. So it was a little bit of a slow slog to walk this in the beginning, especially because media just wouldn't get out of the way. And that includes me. And Jesse Jackson actually was on the other side. You'll see a picture of him because my colleague was on the other side of that barricade thing that goes down the middle. I did the best I could with where I was located. I have a wonderful interview with her. She interviewed with me. She gave a great interview. I need to post that one by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, this is just a collection of all the people that I got as they were marching, thousands and thousands. The weather did not scare people off. They came to town with a purpose and to make this march and commemorate Bloody Sunday. The organizers, so this is the Voting Rights Museum, which organizers are raising money to fix this up and get regular staff there.
And to keep it open.
Keep it open. This is Bernard Lafayette, who is a very well-known civil rights foot soldier. That is Shamari Figures, and this was his first one, especially at representing that new District 2. And you can see Terry Sewell behind him. He had a really good speech. It is in the story that I wrote about Jubilee. And there was a lot of politics. I'm just going to dig into this for a second. We have had a president and a vice president here the last 4 years, and being that it changed to a Republican House, White House, we did not have any major speakers this time. Really, the top speaker was Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. And I will show you, he spoke at the Unity Breakfast. Let me make sure that sound is off. Yes, so I can tell that he is working his way up the chain with you can tell from his speech that he is definitely wanting a chance at the White House next time. So his visit here was really interesting. That's Faya Rose Torre, and she gave a really passionate speech. She is the co-executive director of the Jubilee.
She's stepping down after this year, though, remember?
She is stepping down. She did announce that she's stepping down after this year. Her daughter, Ainka Jackson, is taking over. And Ainka did a lot of the leading and speaking at the after speech where you saw Shamari. She was standing behind him. So you can see the baton being handed off, which is interesting. And this is the Unity Breakfast. It was held at Craig Field in one of the hangars that's been redone. It's always a big crowd. And this is where you hear from a speaker. They get 3 minutes and they make them stick to it. And so Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, was the final that's the Freedom Singers. They always sing this is down by one person. They usually have a white man there too, who's been part of the Freedom Singers since the beginning as well. And each year we're all getting older, but they really rock the crowd. And that is a reel. I have a reel of them singing that's done really well. Now, the Terry Sewell at the end brought up her faith in politics, and it's a coalition of leaders that includes Republicans that had come for the weekend and had a lot of separate meetings. And you can see everybody was really interested in getting to see them all together. There is Andy Beshear making a plea to listen. He says, he had said, I know that I do not know what it's like to have to fight for my rights like you had to, but I'm a good listener. So that was one of his main talking points. So that's the Unity Breakfast on Sunday. Later on Sunday, Brown Chapel had a press conference where they announced that they are getting $1 million for restoration efforts. And
the African American Cultural Heritage Action Fund, the National Trust for Historic Preservation, is actually donating that money to them. And they made that announcement Sunday, and of course they've been under quite a while. It's been under restoration. This is some donations that they previously got. And obviously, the towers have been fixed. That's back when they were still working on the cupolas. But that is an extensive restoration project that's been going on at Brown Chapel, and this money will go a long way to help complete that project. Also, during that event, the chief fundraiser, Bruce L. Holmes Sr., presented Ricky Brown from the GWC Home presented him with the GWC Homes Lifetime Achievement Award for his hard work, dedication, and commitment. So congratulations to him.
He did. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Here we go. This is the Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
Oh, you got that too? Yeah.
Yes, and that's Bruce Holmes, who was also in that other video. He and his wife, Linda, are very active in the church. They grew up going to the church and in GWC Homes. Here's Linda right here with her. I met her at the Foot Soldiers breakfast, and this is her at the breakfast, and she's got her medals as a foot soldier. She was 11 when she crossed the bridge, and she also told me that she got to shake MLK's hand.
Wow.
I just think that's so amazing. Could you imagine?
That is cool. I got to meet Mr. Holmes when I did that original story, and I'm gonna tell you that is and her, and that is one of the nicest families you'll ever meet.
Brown Chapel for sure, because they also give tours. They're tour guides that I think
they do.
People tour Brown Chapel. So the sanctuary is actually closed.
It's still under renovation.
The fellowship hall right now because of the renovations needed. They had mentioned that mold and mildew is the next thing they need to tackle. And when I met them Saturday at the Foot Soldier breakfast, they didn't tell me about the $1 million. Yeah, because that was on Sunday. They were holding their cards close to the vest, apparently. But this is exciting because they had mentioned that they have a federal grant that they have to match in order to use the federal grant. And they've had it a year or two. So this $1 million will go toward that federal grant so that they can use it. And they are hoping to be in the sanctuary again in January of 26, which, guys, that isn't that long from now. I know it feels like that's Linda Holmes. And I got some great story from her about really just opportunities that she's had to get, to see outside of Selma. Mm-hmm. And she mentioned that I can't remember which one of them. One of them is her or Bruce is 8 doors away from Brown Chapel. And the other one is 8, let's see. I don't have it in the story yet. It's going to be in the print story tomorrow. But they both grew up very close to Brown Chapel. And so they come over from Montgomery in order to go to church there and give tours. So I thought that was really cool.
That's cool.
So that's Brown Chapel. Let's go over to Saturday. The Foot Soldiers breakfast was Saturday morning. I like to go to that because I never know who I'm going to get to meet or see. And they also have I forgot I had to take those. They have panels, and at these, so a lot of people come that have been here before. Each year is a reunion. It's a fun reunion. Now, this was held actually in Selma High School's gym. Usually it's in the cafeteria, but they were anticipating more people. This is the panel where the Foot Soldiers gave some details and just great stories about their history and really how they feel about the future. This was a great panel, an opportunity to hang with and see. This was one where I did as a reel. And so I know it's vertical, but I wanted you guys to see the crowd because I do a little pan. There's Pearl Avery, and she's a well-known foot soldier, has been to jail many times during her time as a protester. And she lives in Selma now, and she got hit by the tornado. So her house has been, she told me briefly that she's still got some issues getting that house rebuilt. Mm. All right. So that's the crowd. Pretty good.
Big crowd.
They had really good for the Foot Soldiers breakfast, but it was really hard to hear. So I know they were like making everybody be very quiet. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Foot Soldiers Park celebrated their 4th anniversary. Yeah. And they gave out awards. I'm looking for that one. They gave
I had my notes right here. Now I can't.
I know we're both like, what?
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Uh, huh. Yeah,
We'll
here we
come back.
go. The Foot Soldiers Park. They marked its
Oh, here.
fourth anniversary. They honored the local civil rights heroes as part of the 60th commemoration. People from all over the world came out. They were on Selma Avenue on March 8th is when they did it. Um, the event honored Elijah Manuel, Sadie Mitchell Moss, and Linda Lowry. And they were all foot soldiers who marched. Let's see. Actually, Manuel of Mentor and Selma was a foot soldier who marched from
Right
63 to
there.
65.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Sadie Moss.
Yeah. And she's from Orville and Selma. Her career as an educator of over 50 years of experience. She does a summer program at McRae Gaines Learning Center is named after her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the other two had family there. One of them is what do you call it? She's already passed away, but they gave that to, that's
Right.
Joanne Bland, and she is the founder of Foot Soldiers Park. You know, they have a dream of having the park have an education center there.
I love Joanne. Joanne Bland is one of the sweetest human beings that ever walked the earth, and she's got a lot of good work she's got going on to get Foot Soldiers Park up and running. That's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, and I really enjoyed being there. We have a great connection with Angela Benjamin that works with them, and Valencia Benjamin. Valencia wrote that story. I added a little piece from my notes from Prince Chestnut gave a speech, and he gave an outline of what's going on in the state legislature, because, you know, he's our state rep. And it was interesting because, you know, a lot of it had to do with things that people here will really care about, you know, more prisons being built, and just go check it out. I have it in that story. That is at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. So that's Saturday. On Friday, there was a youth march.
Yeah, children marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. There was about 1,000 women during the Children's of Sojourn and the Youth Freedom March, which just happened March 7th. A lot of schools were represented. Selma High School, Southside High School, Eagles Landing Christian Academy of McDonough, Georgia was here.
Yeah.
Martin Middle School, Wilcox County High School, they all attended the march. Some of the students took the bullhorns and thanked everyone for coming out. They sang the Black National Anthem, and children interviewed foot soldiers Charles Malden, Eva Orr, Helen Brooks, Cheyenne Webb, and Ruth Anthony. They obviously learned more about what happened long before they were even born. Joseph Smithman was memorialized with a picture by the class of 68. They left painted peace rocks at Memorial Park, too. Oh, I'm going to have to go look at those. Those are cool. Those would be pretty. But the youth march, and, you know, teaching the youth, and it doesn't matter black or white. Our kids need to understand our histories so that, first of all, they don't repeat it, but second of all, so they know where they came from. And we need to do a good job of teaching our history to the kids. That's pretty good. I like that.
Thanks to Valencia for sending that video.
Yeah, thank you, Valencia.
Correspondent, and you can be one too, actually. Join us being a community correspondent. All right. Yeah. I forgot to show you, and I want to do a look at the photos from.
Oh, yeah. So the gallery.
We have a photo gallery of about 22 photos. I had to choose from 1,000 photos for these. So let's check them out. So this is the crowd on the south end of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. How cool is that? Look at all those faces.
That is unreal.
Huge crowd. Even with the rain. It rained. It started very heavy rain at 10 a.m. And the people were out there ready to go and do that march at 12 at noon. Now you can see Al Sharpton in the bottom left. Mm-hmm. You can see Andy Bashir kind of there in the middle, upper right. Really great shots here. It actually makes you wonder why we haven't pressure washed the bridge. I guess it's a national landmark, right? This is Bernard Lafayette, and is to your right with the black hat on in the wheelchair, and he's being pushed by his successor, and I'm gonna forget his name. So it is nice to know that has been passed down, and he did some speaking as well. I'll go get it in a minute. Let's see. This is Joy Ann Reed, is a commentator, and got a lot of people surrounding her. This photo, I believe, was taken from the roof. We got up on the roof and got some really good pictures. There's these Black Voters Matter. Boop, boop, boop. Here we go. There's Andy Bashir shaking hands. The Sigmas. I got to mention the Sigmas in the blue, the bright blue. They volunteered to help do security, and they really did a great job. They were very kind and understanding, because you've got some folks that are disabled that needed help getting around the barricades, and then the media, of course, being demanding as we are. And they did a really great job, and that's in this blue. There were a good 100 of them that had volunteered, and I thanked them myself. So this is the crowd. I'm next to this lady to the right. I'm right next to her. You just can't see me. This is the crowd. At the end of the march, the organizers had set up a stage, and at that stage, we heard from speakers. Many of them I had heard from that morning. So Shamari Figures, Andy Bashir, Terry Sewell. It was also, other representatives from other organizations that had come. So and also the rain held off, so that was pretty good. This is from the roof, and this was when things were starting. You can see the shelf cloud there.
You sure can.
I mean, it was messy, but it made it. And then you can see Al Sharpton, Maxine Waters, Cory Booker, and then Terry Sewell right there. They were pretty close to the front of the with the foot. Oh, there's Jesse Jackson. It's bottom right. I think I've got a good one of Jesse. That's Annie Pearl Avery. So she kept saying voting rights, voting rights. Yeah, some of my photos are coming in.
They're on the website, though, because I went back and looked at all those earlier.
Yes, I know. I want to see the Jesse Jackson picture because it's really amazing. There he is. He's 80-something, but he made it here. He's usually here every year. And yeah, go check this out because some of them are taking a little while to load. Love these pictures.
You said something about the pressure washing the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one of these plugs for an upcoming interview. I just did an interview with Preston McGee, and he was talking about raising money for lighting of the bridge, and they're selling cool little candles. I actually got one of the little candles. I didn't think to bring it over here. I could run get it real quick. It's a really cool little candle for a $20 donation, and it's got a picture of the bridge. It's really neat. That interview is coming up on Black Belt News Network soon, so be watching out for that.
The state troopers every year make sure to be there to show their solidarity and their support, since they were the ones that had attacked I
think it's a different bunch of them now, though.
Totally different. This is Donald Trump. He is a Selma guy, y'all. And,
60 years later, I think we got some new troopers that
we do, and they're great, and they always there are a lot of them who agree with me, so I know that they're meaning.
And it's a symbolic thing as much as everything that
absolutely. This is at the foot soldier.
So we've changed. We've grown.
I added some pictures in here. There's Linda. And you guys know that. All right. Yay. I wanted to show you these amazing pictures to get an idea of how awesome the event really was. On Thursday before, they had the mass meeting. Mm-hmm. And that, there it is. This is this is how they rallied the troops 60 years ago, being ready to go for what they knew was going to be a difficult protest. So this is at Tabernacle Baptist, historic, now they call it Historic Tabernacle Baptist. That's Hank Sanders and the choir behind them. And we appreciate Valencia Benjamin getting this video for us.
That's another one of our local historic churches that's undergoing renovations.
Thursday night. That was Thursday night. Now we also had a plaque dedication. Tell us about that one. Ooh, let me change.
Down on at Song and Selma Park, these plaques that actually go through the civil rights movement from 1918 all the way to 2020, and there was a number of dignitaries speaking. That is, and I don't have my note in front of me, but she's in charge of she's the CEO of the John and Millie Lewis Foundation. Lily Miles Lewis, that's it, John and Lily Miles Lewis Foundation, and she spoke because they actually put the plaques up as a partnership between the city of Selma, between Wells Fargo Bank, the John and Lily Miles Lewis Foundation. This is the first plaque, and there's two of them. One of them starts at 1918 and goes halfway through. The other one picks up and finishes. They're on either side of the entrance to the park, and of course, this was like you say, this was. Right before this was Thursday, I believe it was, before the actual bridge crossing. But luckily, they had those in and were installed and ready for folks so that during the bridge crossing ceremonies and celebrations, people were able to see them. So that was good that they got those in time, and they were there for everyone to see.
Yeah, and I've always thought they should have something there that you can
some signage to kind of
throughout the year. And so this is great that they have that detail.
Right,
and they
right.
have foot soldiers in it, and it's great description. We also did an interview last week with the Good Samaritan nurses.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you something, Cindy. I wish you'd have been here for that. They are absolutely some of the most amazing people you will ever meet. That's Miss Booker, who was Jimmy Lee Jackson's nurse when he came to the hospital in February of '65. She's to my immediate left. There's the hospital itself. Miss Claire Moore and Miss Jeannie Evans, who Miss Moore and Miss Evans weren't there in '65, but what happened in '65 left a lasting legacy that was handed down to them, and they talk about that and how the atmosphere, the camaraderie, the family that the folks at Good Samaritan Hospital were. So that's up right now. Go check it out. It's a little lengthy. It's a little bit of a lengthy interview, but it's very compelling.
It's under the multimedia on blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. So take some time and watch it. It's such a great history. It's right here. And
people who are actually there, you know.
Yeah. And I love that we're doing the oral history, that we're getting the stories now while they're with us, because Miss Booker is 88. Is that right?
Yes, 88. That's correct. Yep. And she says that about 4 or 5 times.
Yes. She's proud of making it. I would be too.
She is absolutely the most precious, bright, inspiring human being. She is just a beautiful light. I mean, just a beautiful glow about her. I just enjoyed sitting next to her and talking to her. So, you know, and that comes across in that interview.
Now, we could have and maybe should have gotten some sponsors for that video because we wanted to do it quickly. We went ahead and ran it and put it up for you guys. But in order to do that, we really would appreciate donations.
Please, yes.
Yeah, help us do this great work we're doing. This not only have we have won national awards for what we're doing. We have won almost 30 state awards in the 7 years that I've owned this paper, and since I expanded to the Black Belt News Network. We are doing amazing things for you guys, and we know it's hard to call it a labor of love, but we want you guys.
It's also something new and original, you know.
We are innovating.
Most other newspapers aren't doing it. Yeah, it's great.
A reminder, sign up for our daily newsletter. Nothing costs money on our website. Now, Selma's Son print edition is a subscription. And I did have
Right.
somebody earlier, because you can comment while we're on this, ask me about how do you get a subscription to the paper. It's at selmason.com/subscribe. There's also a subscribe button at selmason.com. So that's our print edition that comes out on Thursdays. Of course, we have the Black Belt News Network, and there is no paywall at the Black Belt News Network. We want everyone to have access to the news that's going on in our community. So visit blackbeltnewsnetwork.com and sign up for the daily newsletter. That is the best way to know at 3 o'clock every day, all the stories that we've been posting all day. And so I just wanted to do a really quick, 30-minute quick, talk about
really quick. Well, oops.
2 days ago. I wanted to do this yesterday, but the schedule just didn't work for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this special edition of the Black Belt Newscast. We will be returning on Friday for our usual newscast. I know we have a lot to talk about that's going on in the Black Belt right now that we've been posting. So news stuff is coming as Black Belt as a whole, but we wanted to do a special edition of the Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will see you guys on Friday.
See you Friday.